1, 2. Nigeria.
Nigerians home and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you. Please be seated. Your Excellencies, very, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, we welcome everyone to the Renewed Hope Agenda National Retreat. And as already mentioned, this is intentionally to ensure that the nation moves in the right position and in hope. And we're privileged to have as Director General the very, very distinguished gentleman par excellence, who himself exemplifies the name of the ambassadors. He is distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, Executive Governor of Imo State, but he is the Hope DG for the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. Please give him a Hope Ambassador round of applause. Thank you very much. To welcome everyone to this retreat, it is a privilege to invite to the podium His Excellency, the Secretary to the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, Governor of Gombe State, His Excellency Governor Muhammad Inua Yanya. Please welcome him with a round of applause as he comes up for welcome address.
All the way from the Jewel State, His Excellency. Why did you say yeah? How many Gombeans in the room? Okay, that where? Honorable, no wonder. Please welcome His Excellency, all the way from Gombe State, a jewel himself, to this great nation. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
You're welcome. Thank you.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Your Excellency, the Chairman of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, and your own Deputy too, Your Excellency Obasani, the Chairman of our great party, and other members of the National Working Committee of the parties that are here present, other Excellencies, the zonal coordinators of the Renewed Hope Initiative, state coordinators, and other top functionaries of the Renewed Hope Initiative, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of us. I begin by thanking God Almighty for giving us this opportunity once again for us to be here and in order to partake in this very important assignment. It is my genuine pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this retreat. I'm delighted to address you in my capacity as the Secretary of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, and I thank every one of you for making the time to be here. We are here because Nigeria is in a race against time as the 2027 general elections is fast approaching. As you may be aware, mobilization is the engine that will power our renewed hope agenda to victory and beyond. I stand before you not just as Governor of Gombe State or Secretary of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, but as a committed soldier of the Renewed Hope agenda. The work we do here will determine how effectively we translate our national vision into grassroots action, voter confidence, and enduring political victory for Mr. President and our great party. Before I go further, I must acknowledge the man at the center of our mission, His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Mr. President has undertaken bold reforms that many leaders before him avoided. These reforms have been difficult and are requiring great sacrifice, but they are already bearing fruits in the form of a more disciplined and fiscal environment. A renewed investor confidence has been built into the system, and steady rebuilding of our national institutions is already yielding fruitful results. As renewed hope ambassadors, we must never shy away from showcasing this excellent achievement. We must never allow the opposition to define the narratives. It is clear that there is a coordinated campaign of disinformation that is designed to sow despair and distort the truth. Our job is to meet falsehood with facts, despair with data, and cynicism with the undeniable evidence of progress. We must go out there and sell Mr. President not as a perfect man, but as a courageous leader who is making the difficult decisions that will secure Nigeria's future. That is our mandate, and that is our sacred duty. As you may be familiar with the event like this, we have a program, protocols, and procedures, but we are not going to swap order with rigidity. Our purpose is not merely to take notes, but to build a machinery of influence and action, and that should engender discussions, genuine discussions, that will steer everybody to go and swing to action. The Secretariat, which I have the honor to lead, is here to serve you, to document your insights, and to ensure that when we leave this hall, we depart with actionable strategies, not just slogans and applause. Therefore, I ask for your full participation and cooperation. And above all, let us be orderly and timely. For when we respect time, we respect the mission. When we keep accurate records, we build an institution that will outlast the election cycles. This retreat, more than mere slogans, is more than mere slogans. It is a gathering that we analyze data, interrogate strategies, and take practical steps. Because political mobilization requires rigor, evidence, and a clear understanding of what works on the ground. And we are all grounded. We are all deep-rooted grassroots politicians. So there has to be a result out of this engagement. Every participant is welcome to contribute. We seek to benefit from your diverse insights and experiences. Whether you are a seasoned campaigner or a new voice, your perspective matters. Speak your mind, ask questions, and enrich our collective thinking. As one big family, I urge us to be mindful of how we handle sensitive documents. All internal drafts, working notes, and strategic discussions must remain within these walls. Any document intended for public consumption will be disseminated through the appropriate channels. Ladies and gentlemen, our vision is to turn the renewed hope ambassadors into a strategic instrument of national transformation. You have been chosen to be the engine room of this historic movement, and I have no doubt that you'll make us proud. On a final note, let us devote all our energies and give our full attention to the task ahead. I wish us all a retreat that is orderly, productive, and truly historic. I thank you all for listening. God bless you all. God bless the Renewed Hope ambassadors, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Another round of applause for His Excellency. And Your Excellency, congratulations. Not too long ago, Gombe State received the National Security Leadership Honor as Gombe won the 2026 Nigeria's Most Secure State Excellence Award. Congratulations. And you've also done so much in health, education, water, electricity. We really do commend. And he said, we are indeed the engine of this campaign. Thank you very much. We move on now and call on Okay, now to give us the welcome address, we're going to call on another of our favorite people, a man of the people, is a comrade. As I said, they call him the Governor of Peace, and he's also a senator. Ladies and gentlemen, he's also the Deputy Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, the one and only Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State, to give us his welcome remarks. Please don't stop clapping until he gets here. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Another governor that has achieved so much in Kaduna State, in Nigeria. Welcome our Deputy Director General, Renewed Hope Ambassadors. Doesn't it look very, very peaceful? That's why he's Governor of Peace.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Director General of the Renew Hope Ambassadors, my friend and brother, His Excellency Senator Hope Ozodimma CON, Governor of Imo State, the National Chairman of our party, Professor Nantawe Goshwe Yelwelda, the Secretary of the Renew Hope Ambassadors, His Excellency Mohammed Inua Yahaya, Governor of Gombe State, His Excellency the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Umar Usman, the Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, CON, our zonal coordinators, His Excellency the former Speaker of the House of Representatives and the former Governor of Katsina State, Aminu Bello Masari, His Excellency the former Governor of Nasarawa State, Tanko Almakura, His Excellency the former Governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, His Excellency the former Governor of Benue State, who is with us here today, His Excellency the former Senate President, Senator Anyim Pius Anyim, GCON, former Senate President, our able directors here present, state coordinators, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with immense joy and a profound sense of responsibility that I welcome you all to the Renew Hope Ambassadors Retreat for National Mobilization, taking place here at the Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. This gathering under the theme, Building a Unified National Mobilization Architecture, brings together remarkable leaders from across our great nation, united by a shared vision of progress and renewal. We are honored to have among us key figures who are not only leaders, but also visionaries committed to the advancement of our beloved country. I extend a warm welcome to the national chairman of our great party, the APC, Professor Nantawe Yelwelda, and his Secretary General, my comrade and friend, who is also here with us. The Director General of the Renew Hope Ambassadors, my brother, Governor of Imo State, His Excellency Senator Ozodimma, my other brother governors, particularly the Secretary of the Renew Hope Ambassadors, His Excellency Muhammad Inua Yahaya, Governor of Gombe State. I also recognize the presence of ministers here present, particularly the Honorable Minister of Budget and National Planning, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, as well as all our zonal heads, directors, and state coordinators. Together, we gathered at a pivotal moment in our nation's history, a moment that demands our collective commitment, strategic foresight, and unwavering resolve. The task before us is not merely a campaign. It is a profound call to action. We are charged with constructing a unified national mobilization architecture that will translate our governance successes into a palpable political strength. In this retreat, we will delve into the heart of what it means to mobilize effectively. We will explore strategies that harness the power of data and community engagement to create a coherent and disciplined outreach. Our message must resonate across every state, every local government area, and every polling unit. As we gathered in this esteemed space, we are reminded that the success of our mission hinges on our ability to act as a single, coordinated force, aligned in purpose and intent. The renewed agenda is not merely a policy framework. It is a covenant with the Nigerian people, a promise of continuity, stability, and progress. We stand at a significant juncture where our collective efforts will determine the trajectory of our nation. Each of you here today plays a vital role in ensuring that our message of hope and renewal reaches every corner of Nigeria. As we embark on this journey together, we must remember the power of unity. Our strength lies in our ability to harmonize our efforts, to engage with one another in meaningful ways, and to forge alliances that transcend political boundaries. We are not just participants in this process. We are the custodian of reform and the architects of our collective destiny. Throughout this retreat, we will engage in fruitful discussions and collaborative exercise aimed at strengthening our mobilization strategies. We will share insight, best practice, and innovative ideas that will empower us to connect with the grassroots, ensuring that our message is not only heard, but deeply understood and embraced. As we engage in this dialogue, let us also take a moment to reflect on the extraordinary reforms initiated under the leadership of our President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. His vision is transforming Nigeria brick by brick, and it is our responsibility to ensure that this vision is articulated and embraced by every Nigerian. The upcoming election will serve not only as a reflection of our party's strength, but also as a testament to the effectiveness of governance that prioritizes the welfare of its citizens. I urge each of you to approach this retreat with an open mind and a committed heart. Let us seize this opportunity to build bridges, forge alliance, and solidify our resolve. Together, we will ensure that the message of renewed hope is not just a slogan, but a living, breathing commitment to the future of Nigeria. Thank you for your dedication, your passion, and your unwavering belief in the potential of our great nation. May our collective efforts yield fruitful results, and may our unity remain unshakable. Thank you and welcome to the Renewed Hope Ambassadors Retreat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please give him another round of applause. Next, we have a short goodwill message from unarguably the most successful minister in Nigeria, a commander of the Order of the Niger, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning. Please a round of applause for His Excellency Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, CON, as he gives a brief goodwill message in 2 minutes. Please a round of applause again. Your Excellency.
I don't know whether you are setting me up, because after what Abike Dabiri did in recognizing the chairman with all the praises, and except that the gubernatorial primary season is over, I would have thought maybe she was looking for a ticket from the chairman. And to just come and say I should do it in 2 minutes. Mr. Chairman, the chairman of our party and the secretary and the Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, my friend, my brother, Senator Hope Uzodima, the Deputy Director General, my brother, Governor His Excellency Senator Ubasani, as well as the Secretary, my brother, Governor of Gombe State in Wayahaya, and indeed the zonal ambassadors, the Renewed Hope ambassadors in the respective states, all other participants in this retreat. Good morning. Let me start by appreciating the ingenuity of the Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors in gathering us here at a moment like this, because to borrow from Shakespeare, a word in season, to speak a word in season. The Renewed Hope Ambassadors is a very laudable initiative of Mr. President, recognizing that some messages needs to be debated, and some of the reform measures that Nigeria has undertaken in the last 3 years are reform measures that can be subject of discussion even at different faculties in different universities, because there is no unanimity in understanding especially those issues. So that we are gathering to reinforce our understanding, to stay committed to what is it that we are doing, and to amplify those, especially in Nigeria, in a country that is a federation, where the impact of what we are doing may be felt differently, and therefore to provide a robust mechanism where feedback can be gathered so that we calibrate and do better. Mr. President deserves commendation. The Renewed Hope DG and his team also deserve commendation. Secondly, we have a story to tell, a big one, and it has been captured by previous speakers and in a speech that the Director General gave when we interacted in this very hall with ambassadors serving in Nigeria. So I don't want to belabor you. But Mr. President's reform agenda has, among others, ensured that the federation is working better. He has taken the bullet for the benefit of the 3 tiers of government. Some of the 3 tiers of government, particularly some states and local government, have reported quadrupling in revenue, meaning that they have more resources to work with. That it itself is a profound achievement, because as my leader, His Excellency Aminu Bello Masari, may recall, in 2016, as one of the then Northwest governors, under his guidance, we had a meeting at Kaduna State Government House, and we met with all the security agencies in Kaduna State, in the Northwest, to interrogate what more can we do. And we all believed in what they submitted, their strategies, and they came up with a figure of 700 million naira. 700 million, not 7 billion, 700 million naira, and we don't have it then. because while now it's easy to think in billions, the difficult moments that this country had faced before are such that even 700 million naira was difficult for 7 governors. And we came to Abuja to meet with then President Muhammadu Buhari to tell him that this is the estimate that is provided by the security agencies, and we want this to be done for us. And he said, well, go and contribute it, but because I don't have it, I will refund you later. So, and it's easy to forget all this. It's easy to forget that we came from being a nation where even with oil prices at $147, 27 states could not pay salary. Not because of anybody's particular fault, but because of the wrong choices that we made. So today we have taken the right choices and we are seeing the results. I have attended a number of states where governors who are once in the opposition party have joined APC. I recall Delta, I recall Akwa Ibom, and it's the same with all the other. One of the things that those governors say was the success of the reform measures make them feel bad not joining the government, because even if the government party they were in had won power, those are the policies that they wanted to be implemented, and those are the successes they are hoping to see. So today, for doing the right thing, Mr. President have unified the country more politically. And this in itself is a message for all the ambassadors. But having said that, and knowing that I'm not called here to give a speech, does not mean we cannot do better. And this comes from the president himself. That's why from time to time, he attends meeting of the Nigerian Economic Council, where he interacts with governors, even though he is not a member, to say, how can we do better together? Because the 3 tiers of government must work together to deliver, because the Constitution has given everyone a role. And some of those roles, if there is a failing in one, there will be failing in the other. And therefore, Mr. President, so at one such meeting in October 2025 last year, he agreed and he called on the governors. He said, we must take the benefit of the reforms to the grassroots. That is the last mile. And he provided a way. He said, let us ensure that we have a program that can map the economic opportunities, the programs that we are undertaking in all the 8,809 wards, so that together we can improve upon them. And if I want to leave here with one message, this is one thing that the Renewed Hope ambassadors are structured to do, to tell us what is happening in each ward, what can the totality of governmental programs. There are some programs, some wards in which maybe there are 7, 10 government programs, but they are working at cross purpose. And even at that, we can quickly do better. Of course, our critics will amplify what they thought is a failing. But again, we have a message, because for every incidence of security, of insecurity, we have a success story. The last 3 years have shown remarkable success. I laugh when some people only amplify the failings rather than the successes. 117 schoolgirls were tragically taken from a school in Maga in Kebbi State. Mr. President directed the Minister of State Defense, the the service chiefs, particularly the Chief of Defense Staff, to relocate to Kebbi. And all of those girls were successfully rescued alive, and our opponents forget this kind of successes. Those of us, look, I'm sure the Kaduna State Governor have spoken about how in many places the effort, the peace building effort he has made, and the successes. Yes, our heart is with every victim everywhere. But this challenge, which is both domestic and regional, and in a way global, call for understanding, call for mutual support, call for all of us working together as a total of society approach under the leadership and profound guidance and effort of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for that deep insight into the many, many successes of this administration. Can we appreciate our minister, an economist, a seasoned politician, a visionary leader, and a great administrator? We do appreciate your remarks. Thank you very much. Blame Tokwe for saying 2 minutes. I said 20. He said 2. But thank you very much. We do appreciate that. As we're speaking, we had one of our women CEOs join us here, the CEO of Niger Delta NDPHC, Engineer Jennifer Adigije. Can you? Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on now. And as the minister said, the administration are taking tough choices, but they are the right choices, and the reforms will manifest positively. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, once more. We're going to move now to the keynote address by our Director General, who is also, of course, the Chairman, Progressive Governors Forum, the Governor of Imo State. Under your leadership, you have introduced the 3 R's in Imo State. Your mantra, please rise for our DG, please. Your mantra of reconstruction, rehabilitation, and recovery, major infrastructural development in Imo State, economic reforms, digital empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, our Director General, Renewed Hope Ambassadors. Oh, wow. Thank you.
I hope I will see a ticket to give to you. The national chairman of our great party, All Progressive Congress, Professor Netao Iwada, the Deputy Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, and the Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Obasani, our amiable Secretary of Renewed Hope Ambassadors, the Governor of Gombe State, Alhaji Muhammad Inua Yahaya, Your Excellency Professor Zulum, the Governor of Borno State, who is ably represented by the Deputy Governor of Borno State, the National Secretary of our great party, distinguished Senator Bashir, and other members of our National Working Committee of our party in our midst, members of the National Assembly, both serving and non-serving, Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, my dear brother, distinguished Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, former governors and other government officials in our midst, former Governor of Imo State, Chief Ikedo Hakim, using you as a point of contact to reach out to other former governors in our midst. The national directors of Renewed Hope Ambassadors, zonal directors of Renewed Hope Ambassadors, state directors of Renewed Hope Ambassadors, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very delighted this afternoon to give this keynote address that will usher in the various sessions of the retreat. I'll do my best to be very brief, but my address must be key to provide the appetite that will be required to consummate all conversations this afternoon in this place. I've given a title to this, my keynote address: Mobilize, Unify, Deliver. Renewed hope as the architecture of Nigeria's democratic future. I stand before you with humility, with conviction, and with a deep sense of the moment we share. To agree that we have not come here simply to hold a political meeting. We've come to give structure to conviction, discipline to our energy, and national direction to a movement whose time has come. Our team says it plainly: building a unified national mobilization architecture. And the title of this address says it in 3 words: mobilize, unify, deliver. These 3 words are not just ordinary campaign slogans. They are urgent assignments for Renewed Hope ambassadors. To mobilize is to turn belief into action. A citizen who agrees with us but does nothing has not been mobilized. The real work begins after the applause, and it involves registering voters, carrying the truth into the market, the compound, and showing up at the polling units on election day. And that day is the day that counts. To unify is to bring a vast and diverse nation behind one purpose, without asking anyone to stop being who they are. Unity is not sameness. It is my hands, many hands, and many tongues moving in the same direction. To deliver is to let the work speak for itself. Government delivers when a farmer drives his yams to the market on a road that used to swallow his tires. When a mother walks into a clinic and walks out with her baby treated. When a teacher's salary lands on the last day of the month, every month. We deliver when belief becomes votes, and when votes become a mandate. Delivery is the one promise no one can fake. Distinguished participants, the first question in politics is not who holds the power. It is what power is for. A party that chases power without purpose becomes an empty machine. A movement that chases victory without service becomes noise. But a movement built on vision, on performance, on justice, and national renewal becomes a force in history. That is what the Renewed Hope ambassadors must be. And so we are here to make a covenant with the Nigerian people and to build the structure strong enough to keep it. Our part is simple to say and hard to do. Speak clearly, work hard, listen deeply, and mobilize with discipline. The renewed hope agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR is more than a program of government. It is a plan to rebuild the nation. It rests on the courage to tell the truth, the discipline to take hard decisions, the heart to protect the vulnerable, and the will to build a future larger than pain of getting there. No country anywhere in the world was ever built by leaders who run from hard decisions. The easy path was wide open. Maybe leave the fuel subsidy untouched, keep the old exchange rate windows, let our children inherit the bill. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said no. He took the harder road because he knew it was the right one. He showed that courage at the top. That courage was demonstrated. Our job now is to carry it to the ground, to every doorstep, every market, every ward in this country. Today, with growing confidence, we can say it. The seed of sacrifice is beginning to bear fruit. This administration has moved from stabilization to acceleration, from holding the line to pushing forward. At the Renewed Hope Ambassadors Summit in February this year, Vice President Kashim Shettima, speaking for Mr. President, named 2026 the year of acceleration, carried on a national budget built to grow the economy, strengthen our resilience, and deliver real results. You can see it in the public finances, tighter discipline in how the budget is spent, a real fight against waste, tax reforms shaped to protect the poor, reward enterprise, and make every naira of public money answer for itself. Policy has stopped being something we announce. Policy in Nigeria now has become something we do. The president has been honest about why the old system of endless fuel subsidies and many exchange rate windows had become a hand around the nation's throat. And reform was the price of breaking that grip and protecting our children's future. And the numbers are beginning to speak. According to National Bureau of Statistics, our real GDP grew by 3.89% year on year in the first quarter of 2026. It is up now from 3.13% the year before, with the non-oil sector contributing 96.08% of it. Behind those figures is an economy finding its feet again. And you can see the change on the ground. Across every zone, roads are going up and old ones are being rebuilt. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, the Sokoto-Badagry Road, the Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano Corridor, the Enugu-Onitsha, and the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressways, the second Niger Bridge access roads, the Bodo-Boni Road, and many more. Beyond roads, these are projects of commerce, unity, security, and opportunity. In our hospitals and clinics, the story is the same. Primary health care centers are being revived in their thousands under the Renewed Hope Health Agenda. New cancer treatment centers are opening. Health insurance is reaching more families. Mothers are getting better care. And for our young people, the student loan scheme is opening doors that were once shut. Alongside the new minimum wage, the consumer credit scheme, the presidential CNG initiative, new tax laws, the regional development commissions, and the new Ministry of Livestock Development. So this is the message we carry from house to house. Renewed hope is becoming road and schools, clinic and credit, security and a job, light and food and dignity. But let me tell you where the real danger lies. It is not always failure that undoes a government. Very often, it is silence. When we do good work and nobody hears the story, someone else tells it for us. And when they tell it wrong, that it becomes the story. When reforms goes unexplained, rumors rushes in to fill the gap. And when progress never travels the last mile to the village, the people it was meant for never even know it arrived. That is why the Renewed Hope ambassadors exist. That was the spirit of our February summit. There we presented the Renewed Hope Compendium and a framework for grassroots communication. And there the progressive governors, our party leaders, and the ambassadors made one promise together. We promised to meet misinformation with facts, to answer rumor with evidence, and take the work out of the conference halls and into the wards, to the markets, the campuses, and the streets. That summit was our declaration of intent. This particular summit now must turn intent into machinery. When Mr. President received our delegation at the State House in April, he gave us a clear charge. He asked us to keep going to the grassroots, to keep explaining the reforms that are changing people's lives, and to keep bringing our people into the work of shaping their own future. We have carried that charge like a sacred trust. So that is who we are. We are the bridge between policy and the people. We are the listening ear of government in the village square, the plain voice of reform in the marketplace, the disciplined presence of our party at the ward and the polling unit. And let me say a word about the polling unit, because everything we do comes down to it in the end. The polling unit is more than a place of vote. It is where the people give power and where they can take it back. It is where opinion becomes mandate. It is where hope is renewed. This retreat is built for work, not for ceremony. We are here to plan a strong network in every state and FCT, to turn the achievements of Renewed Hope into clear messages that our people can repeat, to speak one voice across all our structures, to get ready for the election, polling unit by polling unit, and to put a rapid answer to disinformation in the hands of every coordinator. Before we leave here, this retreat must produce the documents that will guide everything that follows. We will draft a declaration of national mobilization and a national grassroots mobilization blueprint. We will write a standard messaging manual and state-by-state action plans. We will set down a polling unit development doctrine, a monitoring and evaluation framework with clear KPIs, and an election readiness checklist. These are the tools we will win with. Our architecture is quite simple. Under the guidance of Mr. President, the national leadership of Renewed Hope ambassadors is the coordinating center. From the center, we move through the 6 geopolitical zones. From the 6 zones to the 36 states and FCT. From there to 774 local government areas. Then to 8,809 registration area and wards. And finally, to the 176,846 polling units across Nigeria. At 25 canvassers to a polling unit, that is a lawful civic force of 4,421,150 people across the Federation. That is the mathematics of serious mobilization. That is the difference. That is the difference between hoping to win and organizing to win. But structure alone wins nothing. Discipline wins. Message wins. Trust wins. Performance, data, and unity wins. The people have to see us. The people must hear us and know us and feel that we respect their good sense even as we ask for their vote. This is why Renewed Hope Ambassadors stands on a 17 directorates, namely the youth, organization and mobilization, media and publicity, digital and new media, finance, monitoring, compliance and legal, technology and data, support groups, intelligence, special duties, planning, welfare, administration, women affairs, diaspora, and research and innovation. Every one of them exists for a single reason, so that nothing is left to chance and no part of this country is left uncovered. And I say this with pride. Resting on that canvasser network, coordinated through these directorates, and carried by the energy of our youth and women and the wisdom of our stakeholders in every community, the Renewed Hope Ambassadors are becoming the most organized political movement this democracy has ever seen. But a name like that is earned, and we must earn it every single day. So we mobilize without arrogance. We persuade people without insult. We defend the president without insulting the citizen. We answer hard questions without losing our temper. And we turn criticism into conversation, and conversation into understanding, and understanding into commitment. Our mission is truth, carried with strategy. It is evidence, offered with heart. It is performance, communicated with loyalty, patriotism, and discipline. To my fellow progressive governors, history has handed us a particular duty. We are where Renewed Hope meets the ground. The president leads the national foundation, but it is at the state and local government level that a citizen actually touches governance. So every road we build, every clinic we equip, every market we open, every farmer we stand behind, every salary we pay on time becomes part of the Renewed Hope story. So let us align, let us coordinate, and let us deliver. To our zonal coordinators, you are our strategists on the ground. You must know your zone in your bones, its economy, its grievances, its hopes, its politics, the ways that move a young entrepreneur in Lagos are not the ways that move a farmer in Kebbi, a trader in Aba, a fisherman in Bayelsa, a student in Kano, or a civil servant in Plateau. One message in truth, many voices in delivery. To our state coordinators, your job is to turn national strategy into state reality. Know your words. Know your polling units. Last mile of Renewed Hope. When a citizen looks at you, what they must see is love for country, carried with discipline, humility, peace, and respect for the law. Our digital platform, unveiled in April, gives all of us this sharper age. It gathers our policy explainers, our reform updates, verified government information, and the feedback of citizens in one place. With a data communication center that tracks public mood and counters falsehood as it spreads. This is what modern political communication looks like. Feet on the ground and data at your fingertips. My friends, The politics of 2027 will not be won on sentiments. It will be won on performance, on structure, on a disciplined message, on unity, on data, on credibility, and on real bond with the people. Don't be deceived by those parading themselves as the voice of the people. Let us never forget what hope really means. Hope is not wishing. Hope is a moral stamina. It is the refusal to hand our future over to cynicism. It is what gives a struggling family the courage to believe that today's hardship can become tomorrow's stability. It is what sends a young graduate looking for skills, for credit, for a business of her own. It is what brings a farmer back to his land when the roads are safe again. And it is what lets a whole people trust reform. Once reform is explained to them with honesty, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given us that hope through courage, clarity, and uncommon strength of will. And he has gathered around him a team that understands the moment. Vice President Kashim Shettima, members of the Federal Executive Council, the leadership of the National Assembly, the leadership of our great party, the progressive governors, and many reform-minded public servants. This leadership has not been perfect. No leadership ever is. But it has been honest and it has been purposeful. And that is what this moment demanded. So let our gratitude become work. Our loyalty become organization. Let our applause become mobilization we can measure. From this retreat, I ask us to live 5 commitments. Number 1, no structure wins while it is fighting itself. We work with APC leadership at every level, from the national headquarters to the smallest polling unit. The Renewed Hope ambassador is not a rival party. It is the engine that helps the party move in disciplined partnership with every stakeholder. Second is truth. Every message we carry must be true, checkable, and close to the home. We never promise what government is not doing, and we never deny what our people are feeling. We say it straight. Yes, reform has been hard. Yes, families have sacrificed. Yes, the ground is shifting. The economy is steadying. Investment is returning, and the future is being rebuilt. The third one is inclusion. Our women are the heart of persuasion in every community. Our young people are the architects of what comes next. And persons with disabilities, our faith leaders, our traditional rulers, our traders and artisans, our transport workers, our professionals, our labor movement, our private sector, and our people in the diaspora must each find a home in this architecture, an inclusive approach to mobilization. And number 4 is lawful discipline. We must mobilize in peace and with the law, the Constitution, the Electoral Act, the rules of INEC. Our strength is our organization. Our power is our persuasion. And finally, the 5th one is delivery. No one should leave this retreat empty-handed. Every coordinator goes home with targets, with timelines, with a 90-day roadmap, with templates for reporting, with clear measures of success, and with a register of the risk ahead. We cannot manage what we do not measure. We cannot win what we did not plan for. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, 2027 will be a referendum on a single question. Does Nigeria stay on this hard but necessary road of reform, stability, and shared prosperity, or turn back? And we know exactly where we stand. We stand with President, who chose courage over comfort. We stand with the party that has grown into the widest home for progressive governance in this country. We stand with the governors turning national reform into results people can see. We stand with the citizens who deserve the truth, dignity, security, and a fair chance. We stand with Nigeria. So let the word go out from this hall to every zone. Renewed Hope is organized. To every state, Renewed Hope is united. To every local government, Renewed Hope is present. To every ward, Renewed Hope is listening. And to every polling unit in this country, Renewed Hope will deliver. And when history asks, what we did with this moment, let the answers be simple. That we did not waste it on speeches. That we built something that lasts. That we carried the message with dignity, defended reform with evidence, and turned a national vision into a movement rooted in the soil of every community. Let it be said that when their country called, the Renewed Hope ambassadors answered. May God bless Mr. President. May God bless all Progressive Congress. And may God bless the Progressive Governors. May God bless the Renewed Hope ambassadors. And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Please, another standing. Oh, wow, I've always told you that your speeches should be made into a pamphlet. I'm sure you agree with me. This should be made into a pamphlet. Rahman and Mr. Dare put on the website, and let's share to everybody. That was really very deep. Thank you so much. That was really, really deep and deeply inspiring. Wow. Thank you very much for your leadership. And we heard it all. 5 commitments which we should all stick to. Like I said, we all need to have copies of that speech and put it out there online. And we're hoping to win. We're not hoping to win. We're organizing to win. Let's wait for all the banters after such a huge speech. And may I recognize the governor of Ekiti State, Governor Oyebanji, who just walked in. Your Excellency, can we recognize His Excellency, the governor of Ekiti State, who just walked in? You're most welcome, Your Excellency. So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as our DG said, this retreat is built for work, and the work begins as we go into the retreat. It is at this point we now call on our able chairman to now come and formally declare this retreat open. Ladies and gentlemen, the APC national chairman of the largest party in Africa, largest party maybe in the world, chairman who encourages women, youth, persons with disabilities, chairman that will ensure that 300 women go into the Senate. You are laughing. Chairman. Okay.
300 women go to Senate.
300 out of 360. In the House of Reps, rather. So now to declare the retreat open, I hand over to our very able chairman, Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please sit down. Let me start by recognizing the DG of the Renewed Hope ambassadors, the governor of Imo, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma. Also, I have the privilege of recognizing the deputy DG, my friend and brother, distinguished Senator Obasani. Let me add comrade to it. And also the secretary of the Renewed Hope ambassadors, the governor of Gombe, that beauty in the Sahel, His Excellency Governor Inua Yaya, and the new arrival, the governor of Ekiti, Governor Biodun Oyebanji, that next week we'll be there to launch your campaign in Ekiti, and I'm sure you're going to win your election and win distinguishedly. Let me recognize the Minister of Budget and Planning, my big brother, His Excellency Atiku Bagudu, and also my right-hand man, the National Secretary of the party, distinguished Senator Ajibola Bashiru. For one of time, let me recognize all the 6 zonal coordinators, all the state coordinators, other members of the APC here present, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a privilege for me as a party chairman, and I'm so delighted to join you in this important retreat dedicated to developing a strategic communication framework for disseminating the achievement of the Renew Hope administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Let me begin by commending the Renew Hope Ambassadors movement for the commitment to the citizen engagement, public education, constructive advocacy. Your role has become increasingly very important in the era where information travels so fast, from the social media to the regular media, but most importantly, misinformation travels faster, and facts scroll and travels very slow. So your role will be very important in this era. This workshop, or this retreat, is therefore a strategic mission for us as a party. It is about ensuring that Nigerians have access to the accurate information about the bold reforms, transformative policies, and unprecedented investment being undertaken by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reposition this country for sustainable prosperity. Not just sustainable, but common prosperity of the nation. Fellow progressives, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu assumed office in May 2023, he inherited an economy facing significant structural challenges, of which DG mentioned the specifics. The fiscal burdens of fuel subsidy was unsustainable, multiple exchange rates, and several other leakages. Faced with these realities, the president chose the path of courage over convenience and political servitude. These reforms were aimed at long-term national prosperity over short-term comfort of our people. Today, 3 years to the administration, the results are clear because the reforms have made Nigeria to transform. The economy has returned to stronger growth trajectory. Independent international institutions have acknowledged our improvement in macroeconomic stability and fiscal management. Major credit ratings agencies have upgraded Nigerian rating rates. Our foreign reserves, like Onwa, as popular call him, the governor of Imo, has strengthened considerably compared to the situation in 2023. We've now hit over 50 billion US dollars in our foreign reserve. Government revenue has significantly improved, and that's why most states, in those days, Governor Hope will give us the story better, and maybe Governor Inua, they go tax hand in cap to ask the federal government for intervention. Sometimes, just to pay salaries. I recall within that period, states were asking for 3 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion in some states to pay salaries, yet most states could not meet up with salary baggages. That's now history for us country, because we've received more revenue by most of the states and local government. Most importantly, the confidence in the Nigerian economy is returning. Investors who once sat on the sidelines are now taking a fresh look at Nigeria. To be specific, Shell, that was pulling out of Nigeria some years back, they were reducing their investment and trying to wind off Nigerian investment. Today they're returning to invest over 20 billion US dollars into our economy because of the strength, the outlook, the prospect, the over-year prospect of the economy. Domestic and international investments are increasing across critical sectors, including energy, manufacturing, agriculture, technology, telecommunication. And that can be seen by the trade surplus that we witnessed in the first quarter of 7.55 trillion this year. This is no story, these are no rhetorics, these are facts finding that you can check, you can fact check. Beyond that, ladies and gentlemen, the economic reforms alone do not build a nation. Infrastructure does. This is why President Tinubu has launched one of the most ambitious infrastructure renewal programs in Nigerian history. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is promising as a transformational project that will connect major economic corridors across Nigeria, the coastal line. They open new opportunity for trade, tourism, logistics, and industrial development. That's not enough. As that's not enough, the president is building deep sea terminals, 5 of them. One is already successfully completed and is bringing in huge investment to the country for import and export across the country. The Sokoto-Badagry Super Highway is designed to connect Nigeria from the far northwest to the Atlantic coast, with over 300 dams for agriculture, energy, and reticulation, creating an economic corridor that will unlock agriculture, commerce, and industrial opportunities across multiple states. Significant construction is ongoing across various sections of the project. My friend, the governor of Niger, the former governor, is taking the opportunity. He is building an agricultural hub across that corridor, and most states will be taking advantage of those similar in terms of mining in Kebbi, agriculture in Niger, and several agricultural products that will be in that corridor. That will make and build the economy. The Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline represents a strategic investment for energy security and industrialization. Progress on the project has advanced substantially. It's expected to support power generation, fertilizer production, manufacturing, and industrial growth across northern Nigeria. Anybody from the north must celebrate this project because this project targets specific things that has to do with the economy of the north, from energy for the whole entire northern Nigeria, commerce in the northern Nigeria that will terminate in Kano and Kaduna State. These are projects that are targeted to develop and sink a lot of the poverty that we have in the northern part of Nigeria. The administration is equally investing heavily in rail transportation. Ongoing modernization expansion projects are intended to strengthen connectivity between major commercial and industrial cities across the country. And in the same way, taking the rail from Kano to Maradi in Niger, making a major terminal for export and import for landlocked countries like Niger, like Chad, like Burkina Faso, Sudan, will be the biggest investment and a hope for Nigerian economy outside Nigeria. These are what the government is doing to ensure that we build a new economy for this country. These are not isolated projects, all these projects. Rather, they are components of a comprehensive national economic architecture designed to support a $1 trillion economy by Mr. President. If you can clap for this $1 trillion economy projected by this country by Mr. President, imagine a president who made the economy less than 300 billion US dollars, projected a $1 trillion economy. Today we're hitting almost close to 400 billion dollars from 200 plus. Within 3 years, we've hit already almost 400 billion US dollars. And we're hitting and we're working assiduously towards a $1 trillion economy in this country. There's equal participant beyond infrastructure. That's especially making historic investment in human capital development. The Nigerian Education Loan has opened access to higher education financing for over 1.5 million young Nigerians who previously faced financial barriers in pursuing their academic dreams. Today, that's a story. This is an investment in the future workforce of the project. And let me just add this to the Renewal Hub ambassadors. Let me borrow some words from the Minister of Budget, which I worked with him when I was the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. Mr. President is building what we call world-based. Mr. President is building what we call the world-based empowerment program that will target 1,000 persons per world that will be empowered. What is your role as ambassadors? Your role is twofold. Identify those unique opportunities in each ward of your state. I can imagine the ambassador from Abia that knows the commercial architecture of Abia, know the artisans in Abia, and knows which one will work on clothes, which one will work on shoes, which one will work on different aspects. And I can imagine the person from Kebbi who will think of which work will work on mining, which work will work on fishing, which work on agriculture and food security. I can imagine the man from Plateau who identify which work will work on tomato, which work on Irish potato, on yam, and several opportunities in mining. That's what I want to see. Imagine Lagos with a tech hub in the communities. Identify the advantages in your words. Critical is the first assignment I want to give you. Link up with the Minister of Budget. It's going to be a critical building block of our economy and the way forward for the APC and the country as a whole. Secondly, identify the beneficiaries. Identify the beneficiaries, twofold. Identify opportunities, identify the beneficiaries. This is what we need to do. While these achievements are sustainable, our responsibility today is not only to celebrate them. Our responsibility today is to communicate them effectively. The challenge before us is clear. Policies do not speak for themselves. Never. Projects do not speak for themselves. Statistics do not speak for themselves. But people like you do. And it's your assignment to speak. That is why your role is critical. As coordinators and communicators, you translate government policies into languages that ordinary Nigerian, in broken languages, broken English, in local languages, they can understand and assimilate. When discussing the economy and the reforms, explain how increased revenue are supporting development projects in the communities by local government chairmen and the governors. I visited Bayelsa. The governor is building new power plant. He's going to support the power into the homes of ordinary Nigerians. The governor of Imo is building an independent power supply. It's already commissioned. He's supporting homes. is providing sustainable power within the communities, 24 hours supply some communities. These, the languages we want to hear, how it is reaching the homes of Nigerians. When discussing infrastructure, explain how the roads, the railway, and the gas pipeline will create jobs and will stimulate local economy and will move people and goods and services across the country, and the millions of jobs it will create. When discussing student loan, tell the story of a young Nigerian whose future has been transformed through this access to education within your community. I was a university lecturer, and I know how many of my students were denied access to education because they couldn't pay tuition. When discussing health insurance and cancer centers that we've built, tell the story of the families gaining access to quality health access. Facts are important, but the stories will move our people. Data will inform minds, but the story will inspire our people. With inspiration, the votes are easy to get, and our return in 2027 is certain. I therefore urge you to focus on truthful presentation of facts, achievement, and outcome which we have in abundance across the country. From the states to the local government and also by the federal government, we have evidence across the nation. The success of governance and the success of our party are interconnected. This success story that you will tell will impact on our success as a party. That's why I'm here. When government performs well, democracy strengthens. When citizens experience positive change, the confidence in the leadership in power improves and grows. As we look forward to the future, our task is not merely to prepare for elections. The task is to build a stronger Nigeria. In Nigeria with modern infrastructure. In Nigeria with productive economy. In Nigeria where young people can find opportunities. In Nigeria where investors will be attracted to our nation. In Nigeria that will compete confidently at the global stage. This is the Nigeria of our dream. The dream of Mr. President. Envision and envelope on the Renew Hope agenda. And this is the Nigeria that every APC member must work tirelessly to promote and defend. Together, we can support the realization of the $1 trillion economy. Together, we can strengthen our democracy. Together, we can build a prosperous and united Nigeria. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. May God bless our great party, the All Progressive Congress. May God continue to guide our president, President Bola Tinubu, as he leads us and our nation towards a greater progress and prosperity. Having said that, I hereby declare this retreat open. Thank you and God bless you.
Well, we're here to wait, Chairman. We're going to sing together. We're here to build a stronger Nigeria, to ensure the success of the president, take the message to every nook and cranny, as our chairman has said. On that note, we sing the mandate song. On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate, Bola, on your mandate. On your mandate we shall stand. We shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand. On your mandate, Bola, on your mandate, Bola, on your mandate we shall stand. Thank you, Chairman, for another inspiring speech. Thank you so much. Aren't we proud of our Chairman? Thank you very much. Take the last part of the program.
Yes, thank you, ma. Thank you very much, ma. A quick recognition of my governor, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Distinguished Senator Monday Okpebolo, is here with us. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please a round of applause for him. Thank you for joining us, Your Excellency. We now have the vote of thanks. We invite the Chief Mobilizer, Chief Olisametu, to please step forward for the vote of thanks as we conclude the opening ceremony and move into the other part. Please give him a round of applause. Accomplished lawyer, successful Nigerian politician, and a very, very, very good ambassador when it comes to renewed hope. You're welcome, Chief Olisametu, sir.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the National Chairman of the APC, former minister and an effective chairman who has had a peaceful, the most peaceful primaries in the present situation in Nigeria right now. Your Excellency, the Director General of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, the Chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, two-time Senator, two-time Governor, most distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, CON. Your Excellency, the Governor of Kaduna State, former activist, although activist for life, former civil liberty, civil rights organizer, defender of democracy, a lifetime senator, and the Governor of Kaduna State, Deputy General of the Renewed Hope Organization. You're welcome. We recognize you. Your Excellency, the best Commissioner of Finance in the history of Nigeria, and the Governor of Gombe State, now the National Secretary of the APC. Your Excellency, you're welcome. Your Excellencies, may I at this time offer apologies for the Deputy Secretary of the Renewed Hope Organization, Honorable James Falake, who is unavoidably absent on health grounds this morning. And I want to recognize the governors here present, the Governor of Ekiti State, the Governor of Edo State, Action Governor of Edo State, and the other governors here present. We recognize you. I want to specially thank and recognize the zonal chairmen who are here. Former Senate President, Senator Pius and Pius, former SSG as well, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, two-time Governor of Kaduna State, Katsina State, Governor Masari is here. Two-time Governor of Delta State, Vice Presidential Candidate, a lifetime Senator, Ifeanyi Okowa. Two-time Governor of Nasarawa State, former Minister, and a lifetime Senator, Chairman of Nigeria Ports Authority, Senator Dayo Adeyeye. We recognize you. I can go on to the zonal, to the directors at the national level, where we have special advisors to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Tunde Rahman, Abike Dabire, Sunday Dare, and where we have people like Senator Sani Musa, who recognize especially the Director General of National Identity Management Commission, who is here, a lovely sister, and most other people who recognize all of you. We recognize the state directors. Your Excellency, Mr. Chairman, at the state level, we do have people who have been deputy governors, ministers, presently secretary of state governments, chief of staff to state governments, and effective people who have handled campaigns at the presidential, at the national level for many, many years. Very experienced people. We welcome them. May I recognize the presence of former governors here, Governor Ohakim, Governor Gabriel Suswan, and other distinguished people who are here. Sorry, I missed something. The political advisor to the president, the special advisor on political affairs to the president, is ably represented by his chief of staff. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. Your Excellency, Mr. Chairman, when the Director General of the Renewed Hope thought about this program, and he directed our team to handle the program, we had two things in mind. One was to show the support for the president and rally people around, especially in these times that we need the citizens to join the president in the fight against insurgency, in the fight for a safer Nigeria. We said at the end of this conference, 2 days, we'll be able to work on it to make sure that we support, get Nigerians, the citizens of Nigeria, to support Mr. President in securing the country in its entirety. Then the second thing was to show that in the history of this country, we have never, ever, like the DG said, had any movement, any organization that has had this capacity that we're witnessing today. The Renewed Hope movement, we have at the national level, we have directors, we have 37 state coordinators, we have 774 local government coordinators, we have 8,804 ward coordinators, and we have 4,421 polling coordinators in every single polling unit in the country. It has never, ever been seen. And I want to specially thank and recognize these people who have, for the past 6-7 months, who have given so much commitment, dedication, devotion, the cause of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please join me in thanking the people at the polling unit, at the ward unit, and at the state unit who have really worked very hard for the interest of the President. Your Excellency, thank you for coming. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Party is supreme. And for all of us, we commit to the cause of the party. We will join you in building a stronger party that will defend the interest of the members, that will protect the interest of the members, or their memberships. We will join you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, and God bless you all. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olisametu. We'll be taking photographs now, but before then, I've been asked to let you know that I think about 4 or 5 governors sent their apologies. They could not land because of the very strong weather, and they are still in the air. Hopefully, they will still meet us here. So we now move into group photographs at this point in time. Let's have first our governor, the leadership. Okay, photographer, you will. Okay. And please, the website is www.rhambasadors.org. Mr. Olisametu, please come and guide the photo session.
Please
Please, before the photo session, there's an error. I want to recognize one man who joined in building the Renewed Hope agenda together with the DG. Please, the Honorable Minister of Budget, that I apologize for not recognizing you, especially your efforts. You joined in building us up, the initial meetings that we had, and organizing this great team. You were completely in charge of it at that time. My apologies, Honorable Minister. May I invite the National Chairman, the Director General of Renewed Hope, the governors here present, and the zonal leaders wait to come for a group photograph before the state directors and the national directors will join them.
And also, I want to thank the engine room of the Progressive Governors Forum, Mr. Funshaw, who is always very hardworking and taking care of things. Mr. Funshaw, thank you very much.
Is that? No, they're coming up. DG Governors Forum. When we talk about the team that put this together, we cannot forget the sacrifice of you and your directors. My apologies for having forgotten about that. No, here, no, here.
Please, the session continues after this. We go into the proper retreat. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Even your speech, you should.
We have a uniform now in the secretariat. Eh? Your color. Your wearing state color.
Please, the governors.
No.
Directors, you can come to the back.
Look, I take it by force.
Can we invite all the state coordinators and the directors to come and join the group photograph?
You should be doing, not the time. You should be inviting people.
Okay, so at 2 o'clock we proceed for the Ekiti Governorship Council inauguration at the Secretariat, at the ICC. All of us should please be there, whether you are on the list or not. And let's wish Governor Yobanji success from here. Let's pray for him, and I know he's going to win. Congratulations, Your Excellency.
people will go. Can you ask everybody to please, the inauguration is only for the governor, for the governors and the national chairman. This start. We continue with our program here, please. We continue with our program here immediately. The program continues. Everyone should sit down for the program. Okay. Please clear the road. Let's remain inside. Clear the road, please. Clear the road, please. Clear the road, please. Clear the road, please. Where is the MC? MC, come and take your microphone. The program continues. So let's be seated as the formal retreat will now be up. Please, let's get seated. The Renewed Hope Ambassador, please requested, Excellencies, please be seated. Please be seated. Session 1 will be starting very shortly. Session 1 is on the 2027 political landscape strategic imperatives for victory. Yes. So the retreat continues here. Please, let's have everyone seated. Once again, we request everyone, please be seated. Please be seated. Please be seated. We're asking for everyone to please be seated. Please be seated. The retreat continues in a bit. Please, once again, we request everyone to please be seated. We're moving on into the sessions now, in accordance with the program. Once again, we request everyone to please be seated. We will be going into the session very, very shortly. Please be seated. Once again, we request everyone to please be seated. The session will be kicking off very shortly. Thank you. Osun State Coordinator, your attention is needed. Please locate the DG in front. Osun State Coordinator, your attention is needed. Osun State Coordinator. If you are here, please come forward. Osun State Coordinator, if you are here. Once again, we request everyone to please be seated. Those outside, please come inside. One party, one message, one mobilization. Everyone, please come in as we now move on to the first session on the 2027 political landscape strategy, strategic imperatives for victory. This is a very, very important session. Everyone is requested to please be in the hall and be seated as we engage and begin that. It's one party, it's one message, it's one mobilization. Osun State is here now in front of the stage. DG, sir. Osun State is here now. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are now all set for the first session. This is the Renewed Hope Ambassadors National Retreat, and we're moving into the first session to be taken by a very, very distinguished Nigerian. The title for this session is The Political Landscape, the 2027 Political Landscape, Strategic Imperatives for Victory. And this is going to be taken by a man who understands the landscape politically for Nigeria. He is one we know as, if I would borrow the words of Chief Olita Metu, a senator for life, distinguished senator, and first Senate president to be born after Nigeria's independence, and the second youngest Senate president, and he became president of the Red Chambers in August 2000. Please welcome to the stage very, very distinguished Senator Ayin Pius Ayin to take this first session on the title, The 2027 Political Landscape, Strategic Imperatives for Victory. After his session, there will be an opportunity for interaction, and of course, it is a retreat, so there will be appropriate discussion. Please keep clapping till a round of applause once again for distinguished Senator Pius Ayin Pius, Your Excellency. Hello. Hello. My colleagues, the zonal coordinators, Right Honorable Amina Bello Masari, distinguished Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, Senator Adayo Adeyeye, Your Excellency Governor Alamakura, and our dear state coordinators, national directors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Well, let me say that you have been hearing speeches. My own is not a speech, and it's not either a lecture. My pattern would be to stimulate discussion, and I think that should be the essence of this stage of the program. So don't expect me to speak like the DG or the national chairman, and I will not try or attempt to speak after the DG because I don't know where he gets his own wisdom. So let me say that my topic is the 2027 political landscapes, strategic imperative for victory. So if we are discussing the landscape, like I said, it will be a practical thing. And we're all politicians. There is nothing I'm going to say that all of you do not know. We are within the landscape, so we should understand the political environment and actually connect with it. But I will now stimulate questions. I will stimulate discussions, and I'll make suggestions on the imperatives for victory. The imperative for victory means, what must we do to win? Hello? I'll make a few suggestions, but I'll present it in such a manner that in the first term. So the campaign approach must be different. The campaign approach must be specific to the nature of the election. And I want to say that since you have all agreed with me that the questions are in the negative, the answers are in the negative, and that this is a second term election, I want to say that this is the reason why Renewed Hope Ambassadors is formed. Are you there? Yes, sir. Now, if we are preparing for a second term election, which must be benchmarked by performance, it means our major first strategic approach would be to arrange our performance, present our performance in such a manner that it can earn trust for us. Hello? If you are not able to present the performance the way that people can believe you, if you are not able to present the performance the way that people can bank on it and trust you, then obviously you are in for some disappointments. Are we together? Now,
The role of Renewed Hope ambassadors is to streamline, fine-tune, and that's what the DG had been saying, package our messaging in such a manner that it will present our performances in such a manner that people can trust us. And when you gain the trust, you now convert that trust into mobilization. And if you're able to convert the trust into mobilization, then you also go further to now turn the mobilization into lawful electoral victory. So if you convince them by the way you have presented, if they now trust you, they will follow you. If they follow you, they will vote for you. If they vote for you, you win. Am I understood? Good. So, if you ask me, I will say that the strategic approach that we must adopt is that if we are talking about our performance today, and we must be realistic, you are not going to hear from me the very beautiful messages or speeches you had earlier. We have a problem with our performance, or a challenge with our performance. Much of our performance has long-term impact. Are you there? Much of our policies, much of our activities, much of the things we do, the impact is in the long term. But Nigerians want the immediate. Are you with me? They want it today. And that is the real issue we are having on ground today. That instead of waiting for this economy to stabilize and actually deliver on what we have promised, they want the result now. Are we together? And this being the case, it is therefore very, very necessary that we package our performances the way it will meet the need of today. But one approach I propose for discussion is that we need an approach that must convince the next person. And my recommendation is that we must adopt door-to-door approach. The effect of door-to-door approach or neighbor-to-neighbor approach or person-to-person approach is such that you will be able to connect with the person and say, okay, if you don't trust government, trust me. Are you with me? If you know me and government is verified that you can't trust the government because the effect you are expecting is long-term, trust me, I will not lie to you. The Renewed Hope ambassador is therefore going to be a guarantor. And that is why we are talking about canvassers at 25, at a polling unit, ward, at various levels. Are we together? Come, Olisa, please, can you stop distracting us? So, if we are able to connect person to person, then we'll be able to guarantee our performance. And I wish we discuss this further, you note this. So the imperative for which we must pursue is an approach that makes us not only a canvasser but a guarantor. That if government is very far from you, that you cannot understand the long-term effect of what we are doing, trust me, I will be sure that I'm around always to let you know that what I'm saying is the truth. Building trust is central to people following you. If they don't follow you, you cannot mobilize. In fact, following you is the same as mobilizing the people. Hello? Hello? Now, the second reality of 2027 I want to discuss is to ask the question, do we have comfort catchment constituencies? Are there places we will look at and we say, well, it's just there for us. So whether it is raining or it is shining, we must have those places. And my idea is that in 2023, the president won with about 37% of the votes cast. Much of those votes came from Northwest, or your state, River State, and some others. Now, again, the scenario as today, the landscape as today is that you have president from Southwest, I mean our own candidate from Southwest. You have Alhaji Atiku Abubakar from Northeast. You have P2B from Southeast. You have Makinde from Southwest. You have Sandy Ono from South-South. But more so, Atiku is the sole candidate from the North. And maybe Kwankwaso is the vice president from Kano. Then Makinde is a candidate from Oyo. So we cannot say today that Oyo is just there for us. We cannot again say today that the Southwest is, the Northwest is completely just there for us. Rather, we can say that given the landscape as at today, the battleground is still Northwest. In other words, we must plan into Northwest. And it's not as if Northwest is completely vacant, because Kwankwaso is still from Kano. And so we must plan into Northwest, because our own vice president is from Northeast. Now, if you ask me what must we do, apart from planning into Northwest, I must say generally that we must not take 2027 for granted. It is time to work. We have to work. We have to start early. Then the other thing I think we must do is that we have loyal voters. We must not take them again for granted. We must make every effort to retain our loyal voters. Certainly we have lost some, but every effort must be made to regain them. 3, another thing we must do is that we must deploy according to the peculiarity of each zone to win over the unconvinced, the youth, and the rural women. And my emphasis on the youth and the rural women is that when the push comes to shove, it's the youth and women, particularly the rural women, that will stay the whole day in the polling unit to make sure they vote. Not the elites, not the urban women, but the people that must stay and make sure they vote are the young people and women, particularly in the rural areas. So, and I want to say it is important that we don't take 2027 for granted. It is important we map voting places and vote catchment demography and try to make plans to meet up with them. In other words, what I'm saying is that our plan must be constituency specific. We must have a target, and we must plan to that target according to the peculiarities of that target. Now, another thing, another reality I want to share is what is the effect of our reforms? Worldwide, reforms at the beginning are not usually friendly. And no matter how we present it in our case, the effect of reforms at the beginning are not usually very people friendly. And in a society like ours, where most are illiterate, they would not understand long-term effect. You need to explain to them what long-term effect actually means to them. Now, what this means is that the reforms, as it were, have affected the livelihood of Nigerians, giving rise to misconception, giving rise to anger. So what do we do in the circumstance like this? Apart from packaging our reforms or our performances the way I have talked earlier, I think number one thing we do is that we need to remind our people that J.P. Clark said that politicians think of the next election, but statesmen think of the next generation. This image of our candidate must be played up. We must present this image that if our candidate is targeting the next election, maybe he wouldn't go into these reforms. But because he's targeting the overall well-being of Nigerians and the younger ones in the future, he thinks like a statesman. In other words, we are presenting to Nigerians a statesman that will rebuild the nation for the future. Now, and if you are presenting our programs and policies, of course you see that virtually all our programs and policies are actually programs and policies that targets the future. 2, we must articulate the long-term impact of our policies and programs, sharpen the narration, and put them out systematically the way it will be convincing. We must deliver it very, very convincingly. 3, we must emphasize that by 2027, reforms will deliver economic stability, stronger external and physical positions, and headline and food inflations will be more responsive to the yearnings of the people. We must create this hope. You must be able to specify time. Say, look, it is like this now, but by January it will be like this. And many things, the weather favors us. I just use weather for lack of... this is rainy season, or farming season, which means in the next few months there will be harvests. So it is in our interest, in favor to say, look, if by January things would have improved this way, this way, this way. And of course, as the country stabilizes economically, we are proud to say that by 2027, there will be stability in most of our national lives. Our government should also, and this is inescapable, and whether we like it or not, we have to plan it in. Our government should also structure out effective palliatives and empowerment programs. And whether we think we like it or not, we must be able to present to the people what meets their immediate need. And it is important. So but this is not just to go and drop this or that. We have to structure it such that we tie it to support. So the palliative we do henceforth, the empowerment we do henceforth must be structured to secure permanent support till the voting period in 2027. Now the fourth and maybe the last one is who should be our voter target. We don't just go for a rally or campaign. We should be voter specific. We should target certain demographic groups, certain cluster of people, and not waste our energies just like that. So if you ask me, the real voters are not the elite, but the women, youth, and civil servants. But we must also note that most rural women, I have this experience from my own constituency, most rural women have not registered because they have no name. Most of the youth and civil servants are also yet to register. In fact, in my village, when we gather most of the women to register, we realize that some of them don't have the NIN numbers. Because they don't have the NIN numbers, they were not able to register. So you have to package it to register them this way and register them that way. And if you don't do that, and whether we like it or not, you find out that the more the voter register becomes more realistic, the less the volume. Unlike before, when they do manual, you can mop up numbers. Now that it is electronic, it has to be real. So you have to make sure that people comply and qualify to register. If you ask me, part of our program would be to invest in making sure that the ongoing voter registration, many people are enabled to vote. So Renew Hope should invest in the ongoing voter registration. We should build it as a program. We should go out to make sure it happens, and we should do everything to get a number of people to register and tie it to support all the same. I also think that we must target religious institutions depending on the locality. We must target even some social media influencers to help us. And of course, some of them are quite strategic. We must also, like the DG said, target campus engagement. Special groups are also vital outreaches. In other words, we see a catchment group, we plan into them to make sure that we are not just dissipating energy, rather we are sure of what we are doing. Two, I have said this over and it has been said, our message must be clear and it must be anchored on hope for a better future. The national political paradigm must be employed when necessary. We are not saying this, but this is an in-house thing. We need to say it here. Whenever it is necessary, we should tell the person we are talking to that the national psyche recognizes rotation north-south. It is the turn of the South to complete their second term. Am I? So whenever necessary, we should bring it up. We want peace. We want progress of the country. So whatever that had worked should continue to work. So if it is a 2-term this way, it should as well be 2-term this way. And that guarantees national stability. If we don't have stability, then you are not actually going to progress. So this must also be one of the campaign message that we must have. Now, finally, election management. I am coming up with this because I think it's in fact, it's the most important thing in the whole thing. More than ever before, intentional approach to election management mechanism must be put in place. Election management does not mean activities during the election alone. It must start now. Hello? It must start, it involves the planning at every stage of the electoral process. Now, what do we do to be sure that we plan better? By the end of 2026, Renewed Hope ambassadors should have identified APC strongholds at various zones, various states, various wards. Are we in the same meeting, please? Please, you are distracting us. So, Renewed Hope ambassadors must have identified APC strongholds at all levels, both at the zone, at the state, at the wards, even within the polling area. Renewed Hope would have also mapped the constituencies to know where we have good turnout history. We also identified the constituencies and their grievances, some weak constituencies, that's constituencies where we are not strong, and the grievances. Then we plan into those grievances. But if we are just taking everywhere as if everything is normal, that is not right. In other words, what I'm talking about is that we must map, we must do voter mapping. Based on voter intelligence, we map the constituencies to know this is what we get here, this is what should be here, this is what we experience or expect here. Again, Renewed Hope ambassadors should target all polling units. Every polling unit must have Renewed Hope ambassadors, no ward without a mobilization desk, no local government without a data officer, and no state without a situation room. If you ask me, all this, the situation room, the data officer, the desk officer, they are all part of election planning. So, and all component of election management is important. But let me say that it is getting late. Renewed Hope ambassadors should immediately set up zonal offices to activate election management intelligence. You see, no matter how we say it, by the time we get close to the election, what we have not done, we have not done. It is my suggestion that Renewed Hope should set up the zonal offices, and the zonal offices to focus on working with the states for election intelligence gathering, so that they're able to develop the structure for election management. If you don't have this structure on ground, it is going to be difficult for you to simply overnight kick it in and guarantee your victory. So that is my recommendation. Then what are the challenges? Finally, the major challenges, of course, I have mentioned: economic anger, ethnic and religious polarization, misinformation, complacency, elite, whatever, and so on. But to respond to this effectively requires early deployment of election management infrastructure. diligent collection of election intelligence, and match the challenge with data-driven responses. It does not matter what our challenges are, but if we are early enough to deploy the election management infrastructure, we would have captured the challenges before they arise, because we would have known where they are residing, where they are located. Then we plan into it, then we nip it in the bud. So my advice is that no matter the challenge, we should deploy, we should set up the election management infrastructure so that we're able to contain whatever that may be there. Implementation should follow the 5 model, the 5 M model. That is the message, the mapping, the mobilization, management, and measurement. This means this means one locally adapted narrative, pulling unit intelligence, inclusive mobilization, clear command with accountability, and weekly dashboard on reach, on the sentiment, risk, turnout readiness. In other words, the infrastructure, the election management infrastructure must be on ground in such a manner that it will drive from up to bottom, from national to the polling unit. Of course, intelligence gathering, mobilization, clear messaging, accountability, and all that. In conclusion, incumbency gives access, but trust gives victory. Structure gives reach, but messages gives meaning. Performance gives evidence, but mobilization converts evidence into votes. The New Hope ambassador must bridge government and citizens, policy and people, reform and relief, achievement and legitimacy. The imperative is to win with a stronger mandate, broader coalition, clearer message, deeper grassroots structure, and renewed confidence that Nigeria is moving towards stability, growth, and shared prosperity. Thank you all.
Thank you. If you want to give a standing ovation, do it well. A former Senate President, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, certainly understands the landscape and has given a masterpiece in this regard. Thank you very much. Please be seated. From the very distinguished former Senate President, we now invite another former general in this regard, somebody who also understands the political landscape. He will be dealing with the interaction, the moderation. He was a commissioner, he was a governor, he was in the House of Representatives, and he also became Speaker of the House of Representatives. Please help me welcome His Excellency Aminu Bello Masari. He will be handling the moderation of this right now. Please welcome His Excellency with a round of applause. Or you want to take it there, it's fine. Since it's an interaction, you can take it right from there. Please give him a round of applause. So the method will be that there will be interaction. I want to ensure that we keep to time so that in about 30 minutes we're done with this. Your Excellency.
Well, let me start by congratulating my oppressor, the former Senate President, Senator Pines, for doing justice to the topic under discussion. My colleagues, zonal coordinators and state coordinators, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Well, we have heard it from somebody who is practical. You know, in election matters, being practical is very, very important. Now, what did he talk about? We said we have 176,000 and some few hundreds of polling units. And we said we have recruited canvassers of over 4 million. The question is, are they canvassing? What are they canvassing? He mentioned a very, very important point. Our principal, the president, is a statesman. We have said it severally. I said it, he's not looking at the next election, but he's looking at Nigeria in the next 100 years. We have a task of selling him in the reforms. A very bad economy in Nigeria, which an ordinary person does not understand the meaning of the regulation. Who is benefiting from the oil subsidies that have been going on for years? He doesn't know. The exchange rate. He doesn't know those who are getting allocation in central bank and other commercial houses of dollar and selling it into the market, making billions while sleeping, doing nothing. He doesn't know. And these people, they have resources at their disposal. And they can find their way with the media, social media, other electronic and print media. But if you are reforming, it's like somebody who has broken his leg or his arms. You are just being the doctor of that broken leg. You want him to walk. When you are mending it, the pain is even more than the pain of when he broke the leg. But without the pain, he cannot walk. The transition from the pain to recovery, anything can happen. If anybody says you are bad, he's bad because he's confused. That's barely a stage in which we are to sell our principle under a reform agenda whose pain the localities, the ordinary people are feeling the pain of the reform. The empowerment is not structured. In some cases, is not reaching the person intended for. I come from an area where 500 naira means a lot to an ordinary person. You go to our rural communities, if you have 500 naira, nobody can change it. $200 naira is a very strong currency that you hardly find anybody who can change it for you. So you are taking from there. So the coordinators, as much as we expect too much from you, I also sympathize with you, because many states, naturally, unless you combine your activities with that of the state government, you may have problem. The local government and state governments are supposed to be the nearest government to the ordinary person. This is an area where you have to operate. These are the kind of people that you have to deal with. Your ability to manage and work together to reach this ordinary person who belongs to 176,000 polling units. Like the Senate President said, when you say do mapping, there are some places where you cannot pour water on a rock and expect that you plant something to come out. There are certain places that you cannot spend your resources on because you will never get the result you want. That is the reality. So this is your job. We are all politicians. We all know our localities. We know where we won the last election. We know where we lost the last election, why we lost and why we won. Are we still in the same page with those who won? Or we have lost some of them? Those where we lost, have we convinced and make new friends? New voters? It's a huge challenge, especially for a sitting government. Even without reform, some of us face election, second-term election, and we know the pressures. When you are fresh, you are coming, you have no liability. Nobody will accuse you for not doing anything. The only problem is that whether he will trust you or whether he will believe what you are saying. But if you are on the seat, the people ask, what have you done for us? And let me tell you, the Nigerian voter is not interested in how many kilometers of road. He is not very much interested. The local voter, that is the elites who know the benefits. But the local voter, that people at 176 polling units want to know what is there for us today so that we can have hope for tomorrow. You have to, like he said, build confidence. You know, we have a proverb in my language, and I'm sure it is in every language. Come and eat is better than eating. Because somebody who invites you to come and eat is better than eating itself. Because he has you in his mind. Because when the food is ready, you can be there by accident, not by design. But when you are invited, you are there by design. So I am a moderator on this program. I am not a presenter. Even though my oppressor, let me stop here and invite questions, hard questions. I want you to have hard questions for him. Not software. I don't want anybody who will stand up and praise him, sit down. We have accepted your praise. We want hard questions because, you see, in this business, we have to be honest and bring out the hard facts so that we can be able to face them. So please.
Thank you, Excellency. We have somebody there, so we'll start from there. Number one, number two, number three. So we just come that way. We only request that we should please go straight to the question so we can take as many as possible.
Okay, the Sungu Senator.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. I think before raising some of the issues that I have, I think it's also right that I commend you for your paper, even though we've been told not to commend you. You've spoken like a true politician. There are real issues affecting this country, whether we like it or not. And I listened to your paper, and I think one thing that is missing is you didn't say anything about like a survey. You just assumed that you know what the issues are. I think there's a need for us to carry out. There's a need for us to carry out a survey. We mustn't assume that we know what the problems are. I mean, there has been reforms, we know. What do people think about these reforms? What do they think about it? So there are, for me, there are generic issues that affects every part of the country. Cost of living, insecurity. These are issues people will talk about. But there are also issues that are local that we need to identify. So it's no good prescribing medicine when you don't know what, or dosage, when you don't know what the ailment is. So that is my suggestion, sir, that we must have a proper survey that tells us, gives us a clear picture of what the issues are. Thank you.
Well, the next person.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I listened attentively to the speech of both, and I'd like to appreciate by asking a general question. I want to limit myself per se to politics, because it is the soul, irrespective of the issues adumbrated earlier. I want to say that our party, APC, particularly, is a lucky party. The avalanche of people moving into the party and the situation in the party before they moved in, I feel this touches on the soul of the party, and I want it to be looked into deeper so as to make meaning of it. What am I saying? With those who moved into the party, with those who moved into the party did say the governor is the leader of the party. Where there is no governor, somebody will be the leader of the party. There are those who have been angling themselves for position, all of a sudden to find that some people moved into the party and they are no longer reckoned with. These are tiny, stormy areas that I feel the party leadership should work on in moving towards a general election. Now, to talk about the governors being the leader of the party, the general feeling outside is that there must be consensus. One funny thing about this consensus is that there's no way anybody on earth can do it that there will not be creation of enmity. To what extent are we taking steps to solve it? Because irrespective of whatever we do down, it is that above that is very important. I feel our leadership should look into it and urge on all leaders of the party that at this time is when they should behave most stupid. What do I mean by most stupid? To keep begging where there are problems. Look for ways of accommodating everybody. We cannot at this level believe because we are a solid party, say this is what we want and we go ahead. I am making this reference because I feel it is overwhelming issue. And if we don't touch it, all the issues below may not have soulful meaning. Thank you.
I think let's go through this row and come this way. It will be better for us. Me orderly. Does it mean everybody will talk? Okay. Okay, go ahead, Aja.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I thank you for giving me hope. Yes, this is what your paper actually did. But I just want to ask her, do you actually know the situation in the country everywhere? I'm talking particularly in my own zone, because I heard you say the battleground will be the Northwest. I want to remind you of what happened in the 2023 general election. We were asked to decamp to the PDP in the Northeast because Atiku Abubakar is from the Northeast. And we told them that no, we will not. And we were told to our face that we are going to fail the election because the security has been compromised. Everything is against us. Remember the currency change? Wallahi, I swore. The PDP contestant was given money in a bullion van by Central Bank, while my own governor was looking for money, helter-skelter. We couldn't get money. My own governor, a serving governor, didn't get money. That's why I'm asking, do you actually know the situation and what we are facing? And it is going to repeat itself if care is not taken. Why I am saying this is because Atiku Abubakar is now again a flag bearer of another party. Let us not underestimate that. Please, sir. Please. Please, sir. I also want to ask, we in the North, we respect agreements. Actually. Yes, I love that one you said. It is time for the West. It is going to be back to the North. The South, sorry. It will be the turn of the North, inshallah, again. This is very convincing. They love that statement. I have tried it. Yes, they love that statement because they respect that agreement. Yes. But the challenging are daunting, sir. They are daunting. Even we, our lives, you know, we are threatened. That how are we going to force them to come out and say, you know, to come and say vote for BAT, for PBAT. They are challenging us, they are threatening our lives. They're telling us that they are going to kill us. They are going to, but we're not afraid anyway. But I just want you to know that the challenge is enormous. And we are ready to face it, but with your support. It is not going to be empowered.